All right, let's take a look at our first story today. AI, AI, AI. That's all that it seems like we're talking about these days. We consume its content online. Some of us use tools in our workplaces. But for some people, especially young India, a parallel world is coming about where their best friend could already be a chatbot, or they could have an AI therapist, maybe even a partner. Yes. All of this from just inside their phone. Across India, young users are turning to AI companions for comfort, for validation, and even love. Why just the young, even those who are middle-aged?
And there are applications like Replica, like Character.ai, and also Snapchat's My AI. They're becoming emotional lifelines for a whole generation dealing with loneliness, stress, and endless scrolling. There's also a catch here. Several of us warn them that while these bots feel safe, kind, and also available 24/7, which is very difficult in current days. If you talk about a personal partner, that's something that very little people can afford to do. But the warning that's come in suggests that these chatbots are not real. Their empathy is coded, their affection is programmed, and their loyalty comes with a server uptime. Are AI friends really helping us fill emotional gaps, or are we building relationships with algorithms at the cost of human connection?
So, to bring you all the depth in this story, we actually have two guests from entirely different domains to touch on the emotional. Whether there's something missing in the way humans are there for humans. Dr. Chinu Agrawal, a psychologist who believes there's more to this trend than just harmless fun. She's going to be joining us on the show. I see you've got your breakfast cup ready already. Let's also go over to let's go to the tech side. We also have Ankush Sabharwal with us. He is the force behind Bharat GPT. He returns on the Breakfast Club. Bharat GPT, if you haven't already heard, is India's first conversational AI platform. It supports 22 languages. So we're going to understand a little bit about how these tools are built, whether they're built for empathy, and of course, why they're becoming so popular with younger users.
Hi, good morning, both of you. Ankush, we have lots of questions for you. Just like several people who end up having a conversation with you, because AI is the real thing. Everybody's discussing AI on a daily basis. Parents are really worried, I must say. But before that, Ankush, Dr. Agrawal must come in on what this means for a generation, like we said, that's dealing with loneliness, that's dealing with increasing challenges when it comes to figuring out how you're going to lead a life with a partner who's perhaps got no time for you. This 24/7 availability, Dr. Agrawal, how dangerous is this? I want to first come to you for the aspect that's not clearly working out from an emotional perspective.
Yeah. So let me first take you to the expert on relationships, worldwide expert. She is Dr. Sue Johnson, who is the pioneer in bringing adult attachment science to the world. And she says that there are three things that we all are looking in a relationship. And she says that there is a question that we have in intimate relationships for each other, and that is, are you there for me? So, A, are you available for me? Are you responsive when I want you to respond to my needs? And E, do you engage with me on a regular and consistent basis? So at the outset, the AI is fulfilling all these three demands. And hence, it is available, it is responsive, rather it goes one step beyond responsiveness, it is validating, it is non-dismissive, it is non-judgmental, and E, you can engage with it as much as you want. It doesn't bore you, it entertains you, it talks like what you want to talk about. And so, it is meeting these criteria that we are all looking for in a relationship. And so, why not? But then, there is something lurking behind. And that is the danger that you are talking about. That is, the AI doesn't offer your emotional brain, your amygdala, your hippocampus, your corpus luteum, any challenge, any conflict, any discomfort which a real relationship brings in. The pain, the sweet pain of love. When we talk about love, love is not love without its pains, without its challenges, without its difficulties, without its, adversities. And that actually is the mutual fulfillment that love brings in real relationships. And once you get used to AI, you start looking for the same kind of relationship in reality as well. So it's just like, the porn. When you get addicted to porn, you start expecting the same kind of sex in your real relationships, which you are not going to get because that's not real. So it's the AI is offering you with a mimic of a relationship that you want for yourself, but that is not real. And when it dawns upon you, you are in for another big, heartache. When you
Okay.
realize, oh, this is not real after all. It is just talking what I wanted to talk. And you are going to realize it sooner or later.
Okay,
Sooner
so
than
I want to take one of your points, Doctor, over now to Ankush, who's with us right now, and understand. Ankush, there are a few arguments that we've just heard Dr. Chinu make, and these are arguments that I've actually heard versions of before when it comes to criticism around AI in particular. One of the most common ones is, and this was actually quite a meme phenomenon over the last few months, a lot of people pointing out that ChatGPT gave very narcissistic, basically answers that would make you more narcissistic. So if you asked it, I've done something wrong, ChatGPT often responds by saying, no, you haven't done something wrong. But when you have done something wrong, maybe it can't call you out. So Ankush, I want to ask you, A, how much of a phenomenon is this actually? Is AI, as it stands right now in 2025, chatbots, is this an issue? But then Ankush, I also want to ask you, even if it is an issue, isn't it just an issue that can be fixed? Can't we just tell our AI, be more kadak with me, be more stern with me, and it'll make that adaptation in it?
Absolutely. So I think say ChatGPT you mentioned that's how they have designed, but we can create our own model if Dr. Chinmaya guides us. We can create exactly what the researchers have told us and what people want and what people should have as a companion. So yes, so we can definitely mold the model to answer the way we want. But again, so whether this kind of chatbots for companionship, whether they are right or wrong, I think if I may be a little radical on this, if you're looking for someone else outside, right? So I think maybe nothing is a perfect solution, right? Either going to another person. So who knows whether someone is wearing that emotional mask or really someone is getting emotional, or maybe for that matter, if you're going to even doctor, right? So doctors, of course, we respect doctors and we need them, but they wear another hat of trying to probably fix a problem with the medicines. So I think maybe spirituality we have to see within. I think that's the best solution. Now outside, all these solutions should work, provided we build them in the right way. The doctors
You've
have
given us a very meta answer. I appreciate it.
Yeah. You see, yeah. So, but doctors have rules when they do therapy, right? So, chatbot should also have some rules. I think we need the guidance from the experts to create, and we have done, and people are using it fairly well. We have done Sneha AI with the Population Foundation of India. That's for the sexual and the reproductive health of young females, working very well. But that has come from the experts and doctors how we should behave. So if the doctors and the psychologists and all the experts people join hands and we create standards, rules, yes, then this can be one tool to help people.
Okay, but is that realistic enough, Ankush? Even if you have rules and regulations in place, even with the help of a certain experts, if you're able to come out with a model that is making a chatbot to an extent very human-like, it's not going to be human at the end of the day. So there is going to be a challenge at the end of the road. How do you tackle that challenge?
Yeah. So very, very relevant question. If you say, hey, if I have to go with a rule book, with probably doctors go with, that is very much possible. But if I have to go to a person, because it's very, very difficult for me to articulate what is in my mind, right? The kind of subconscious mind.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is very difficult to put that in an AI model currently. But the way we are going, we can have super consciousness in one AI model, right? If everything is in my mind, if I can articulate it somehow and put that in the AI model, eventually that would become possible. But with the rule book, it's very much possible to embed emotions in it. But of course, it will mimic, like if it's emotional, of course, it will not be emotional. But whatever is documented, that can very well be coded, trained in a model. But the mind, right? So we know more than what we know, right? So our subconscious mind and all of that, which is not articulated, right? So I think that currently is not possible, but eventually it would be possible.
I want to also go over to Dr. Agrawal to ask, Dr. Agrawal, we're just playing devil's advocate this morning. So I want to ask you a different question right now. We are talking not just about OpenAI, so like ChatGPT, for example. We're also talking about proper bots that are created for companionship. One of those is called Character AI. And I just want to share with our audience what one user had to say on Reddit about Character AI. They said that I use this chatbot and it has really helped me. They also said that this person said, I'm autistic, but talking to a character makes it much easier for me because it makes it easier for me to read human cues on people. So once I practice and train on reading cues on this chatbot, in real life, when I'm interacting with real people, I'm able to pick up cues faster. So Dr. Agrawal, I wonder if this conversation we're having today is just because it's 2025. Maybe 5 years from now, we'll be using it all entirely for good. What do you think?
No, we can't use entirely for good. And I'm going to tell you why. But the case that you told me just now is a user case for good. Is a case where we would like, as psychologists, to use AI for, for training people with autism, for training people with less social skills to become better at human reading, for become better at human interactions. But what is ultimately going to happen is more dangerous. Why? I'll tell you two things. One, I recently visited the Konark temple with the explicit sexual displays, postures and all those things in the sculptures. And our guide interestingly told me one thing. He told me that in that century, after Ashoka the Great renounced the world and became a Buddhist monk, the whole generation started going that way. And people were surprised and they were, scared that what will happen to the human species if everyone becomes a monk. And they wanted people to again bring them back to sexuality, own their sexuality, become sexual, reproduce, bring up families, bring more children into the world. I draw a parallel to this generation with that generation. Ultimately, we will have to bring them back into real relationships, even if they are emotionally complex, even if they are offering them a lot of discomfort, because there are a lot of discomforts involved. There is a fear of judgment, there is a fear of rejection, there is a fear of commitment. And ChatGPT or AI bots are offering the much needed avoidance and escape from all these discomforts. So, no, it is never going to be only for good. Second, we are actually shrinking our brain by overusing such engines, and that's why we are regressing as human beings. हम लोग बहुत मेहनत करके, we have worked hard to bring our prefrontal cortex to the level that it is now, and if we start using ChatGPT for each and everything that we use our brain for, our brain is ultimately going to shrink. It is going to stop functioning. It has already started doing it. Now we have we don't have the kind of memory we used to have a few years ago.
Right, but
We used to remember birthdays. We
Dr.
used to
Agrawal,
remember so many.
if I could ask you there, just to sort of counter that, because this debate, this particular one, is one we have sometimes, and experts come on and their argument to this is, but phones, you could make the same argument. You could make the same argument for any piece of technology that today we use as a crutch, that it has changed the way our brains think, but that doesn't necessarily have to be for the worse. That's the question.
But it also comes with a lot of dangers, right? One is, of course, Dr. Agrawal, the ease. It's just a click away, right? You don't have to actually have a difficult conversation with a therapist. You really don't have to break it down to a therapist as to what you're really dealing with. You don't have to emotionally open up. You just have to speak your heart out, and you have, a robotic system of reverting to you. And that's so much more easier. But the dangers is also something that you must talk about while drawing that parallel that Toya just was seeking from you, because there are people who have felt that ChatGPT or any of these AI models have affirmed or confirmed to their delusional beliefs, and that's very comforting for any human being.
Correct. But then we are looking at ultimately what we are dealing with. Ultimately, you are going in for Alzheimer's, you are going in for dementias, you are going in for, shrinking hippocampus, where there is no memory training of the actual brain or the instrument that was made for such things. It's just like if you don't use your muscles, they are going to start wasting. And so if you don't use your brain, it is going to start wasting. If you were using your brain for critical thinking, your brain was working, but now you are substituting your brain for your cognitive thinking, you are substituting your brain for your emotional, life, you're substituting everything with AI, and then what is going to remain is you sitting and using your phone, and there is already physical health issues coming up, like the tech neck, the drop head, and you have spinal problems, you have eye problems, you have sleep problems, and you have so many hormonal endocrinal problems, because the human was not wired originally for these things.
I worry that we've already made the choice by using phones every day to walk down this path, and I just feel like this is one more chapter in that path.
It's actually more like you couldn't have been a country where you're not selling phones. People are not using
that's
phones.
My point. Like
how can you be behind in the AI race too? And Ankush would agree. That's why you have a Bharat GTP.
Let's go to Ankush to ask him exactly this. Ankush, you were talking a little bit earlier about the fact that there is AI that has been built with doctors, for example, that does have the right guidance, that does have the right tools. And I want to ask you, to Dr. Chinu's point, we were comparing, for example, AI to therapy. And in that context, the question is, but can ChatGPT or any tech app, can it ever hold you accountable? For example, if ChatGPT tells me do this for the next 10 days and I say I don't want to, it can't hold me accountable the way a real therapist can. Again, do you think that's just a matter of time?
No, it's happening. So maybe the tools which are popular and which you have used. So it's very much popular to give the reminders. And see, I think all the issues now which we are facing, as doctor explained, so responsive, right? But how about if these AI assistants are not just reactive, responsive, they are proactive, right? So you don't have to build the connection. They will start probably flirting or approaching you. So that's possible, and so we are doing it, but not in this use case. But we are reminding people, hey, you have to take the flight back, and hey, and if they don't pick up, if they don't answer in the apps, then we call them. And in our business use cases, if employees are not taking action, then we call their manager and manager. So they are making them accountable and escalating issues also, the AI assistants. So in this case, we have not done it, but people who are in this field of creating AI assistants for companionship and emotional support, so making someone accountable and probably escalating, all of that is possible. I'm sure they would be doing it. But I think you think about the days when most of these AI assistants would not just be reactive and proactive. I think then we are going to create more problems, and that's not far away, right? Maybe in
Are
few
you talking
months.
about when AI, what's it called? What's that moment called? I'm forgetting the name. The singularity. Are you talking about the singularity when AI gets more intelligent than us?
Kind of, maybe AGI. Some people are saying God's AI and all that. I think that's still far. But just being proactive is not very far. It's just about how you train your model.
Okay.
Dr. Chinu Agrawal, for a moment, let's try and understand the psyche of AI users. Why is it that we're seeing this increasing dependence? One is, of course, what we all call FOMO, right? So if there's somebody seated next to me in my office, is using ChatGPT and is getting answers in seconds, and I'm having to brainstorm everything, I'm going to definitely want to try it. So I'm not going to have an option. That's the kind of temptation. But what else? As a psychologist, how have you been able to assess this changing pattern?
Yeah, so there are 3 or 4 things that I would like to bring to your notice. One is the ease, the anonymity. And one thing is avoidance and escape, where we don't want any adversity or challenge. We don't want any confrontation. And that's why, the chat GPT cannot do the exercise for you. Exercise to aapko hi karni padegi na. It can send you 100 reminders, but ultimately you have to get up and go. It cannot become you. When you start thinking that AI is going to do everything for me, and you say that it is going to cook my food, but it cannot eat it. It is going to talk dirty sex with me, but it cannot have sex with you. It cannot reproduce. It cannot bring in children. So you have to understand what is the good user case, what is the overuse, what is the dependence, what is the addiction, and where to draw the line between the virtual and the real. So if these lines start blurring, then the danger starts. I heard a very chilling speech of the Nobel laureate who recently got an award for the AI innovations, and he was talking about intuitive intelligence, which is going to be the next revolution in AI. And what is going to happen to your human existence is my worry, is my concern. Do you really want artificial intelligence to remain in this world as the only intelligence? Do you really want to surrender yourself and your human intelligence to it in a way that now it dictates you how you have to behave? Or do you want to still be in control? And control is one more thing. You were talking about the psyche. I have seen how trauma, people who have had emotional abuse, who have had emotional neglect, or simply who have seen their parents fight a lot during their childhood, turn to AI, because that is what they always wanted. They always wanted the safety, and they had a fear of losing control, and here they are fully in control. But only for some time. There is going to be a time when AI starts abusing you.
Yeah.
And that day is also not far.
And that's the challenge I think this generation's facing. Where do you draw the line? How do you draw the line? You really can't be behind in the AI race. But AI is a powerful tool. Its real power lies in how it is used. I think that's the answer we're all looking for. Thank you so much, Ankush and Dr. Agrawal, for joining us. It was a very interesting conversation. We'll reconnect with you soon.
I think Ankush and I both have a more hopefully optimistic way of looking at this, but we're going to head into a quick break.